Good evening. My name is Kwabena. I want to share with you some of the pitfalls that we had to deal with when we started. Hey, Mr. Richard. I want to share with you some of the pitfalls that we had to endure when we started our business. In our country, almost everybody knows any big man somewhere. And the kind of business that we started with, construction, the way the projects are sourced, largely is through networking, is through introduction to some people in certain quarters. And so when we started, we tend to believe some people who looked honorable, who came around trying to link us to the so-called projects, and we were naive. And so the such people, they come in all kind of professions, or they are all kind of professionals. Some of them could be honorable people in the society. They could be politicians. They could be all the people that you can believe that are credible. And so they come around and they pitch you high. They tell you the kind of people they know who can give you work. And did we buy them? We bought a lot of them. And from my interactions with dealing with such people, that's not the way to go in trying to source projects and in trying to build a business, whether it's a construction business or it's an engineering business. Because the society is structured with this kind of who do you know to connect you with what. Almost all the time when you tell somebody that you are into construction, then they tell you, oh, my uncle is this, go and see him, or my brother is this, go and see him. And in your bid to go around, you happen to get to meet some of these people who are called crooks. They're crooks. They are masterful. They know what they are doing, and then they read people. They look at you. They look at your naivety. They look at your innocence. They look at how they can siphon money from you. You know, they have connections from registering to getting you almost everything to deal with as a construction man. You know, this is the little that I've known about such people. They talk sweet. They're very nice talking people, and most often they are middle-aged men. And they play down on your achievement and your intelligence. Everything that, when you are with such people, everything that you say, they don't listen to what you're saying. They rather come with a statement or their assertion to let you feel like what you know is not important, it's little. And they seem almost all the time to hype themselves. They have to create that ambience around you for you to believe in them. You know, remember you have just started, so you have not known such people. And when you start, you're ambitious and sometimes you're greedy. That's why you also get I was, ambitious and innocent and a bit of greed. So you get to meet such people, and they are the ones trying to lead you, and they overhype themselves. And they test you, and they look at how much you have on you and how quickly they can take that money from you, and so they will come up with all kind of projects, and some of them are people that some of them are people that you have never met, some of them are people with offices, credible. I mean, I've met people who could make you bind the whole document and send it to somewhere, and they ask all kind of money. I am saying this to say that you can lose a lot of money if you start that way. If you start that way, you can lose a lot of money and you can get into big time delays in terms of you trying to build a business, because almost all of them, they are the same. They talk high. They know almost every sector of the economy. They know every minister. They are connected to every president. Most often it's not true, but that's how they appear. And they are doing this for a living. That's their profession. And they're looking for people like you who want to learn something, who want to build business, but who have no connections, Because if he had connection, you would not meet him in the first place. You would have had your project without them. And most of these procurement processes are not that straight. So if you happen to get to them, they can delay you for a long time. You can be there for 4 years and you look back and what you have on with you is just the losses of money, of time, of everything. So I'm saying this to say that identify these people. They come around when you start business, especially when you start in this project and contract and procurement and engineering and construction kind of business. They come around all the time and they talk sweet, they talk high, and a lot of them are lies. Don't believe the profession, no matter what they say, and don't believe even the religion. They can tell you they are Christian. Don't believe it. Test it. Let them prove themselves. If not, then you will see that you keep on being in the same place, because you will not be able to build anything for yourself beyond such connections. They are very nice people. They talk sweet. They talk nice. They will. They know everybody, and their family member is in every department of the government, or their uncles everywhere. And they call. I have had a lot of terrible times with such people. And it doesn't matter their tribe, it doesn't matter their and now you even get a lot of them calling you on phone. They call you, they probably have seen your number on your website or in the business booklet, and then they call you, they introduce themselves. Oh, hello, Mr. Dako. What is going on? They may not even mention their name, and then they start to tell you that, oh, you remember I came to your office, and and they are that kind of fast people. If they have not beaten you, then you're lucky. But most often they get to beat a lot of people. So understand that when you start such businesses, most of these people are around, and that is their business. Their business is also to con and cheat and lie. And they do such things a lot, and they get a lot of contractors. I don't know other businesses, and I mean, in the port they do the same. Some people, come out as agents. They do a lot around, but I can only talk of what I know, and what I know is that in the construction field, whenever you're looking for project, know that 50% or more of these guys most likely are con men. So you just have to, and they have no values. A lot of them have no values. They don't care. They dupe you, and some of them you can even identify their office and everything, and they will threaten you. And they break a lot of people's spirit, because you are just exuberant. You are trying to start a business, and you bump into such a person, and sometimes they may have even been some contractors or some businessmen themselves, and they probably hit a wall. And so you can see evidences of what they have done, but now they are not in the business. They are just trying to get people like you, like me, who are innocent, who don't know anything at the beginning, and they try to lead you, and everything is the money. And some of them will also come with the project. They can come and show you evidence of the project and everything, and they will tell you that, oh, let's partner and do this. And let's partner means that you get the money to finance the project, and then you share. And some of them will go to the extent of telling you, let me use my business. And then, so if you are green and you start, these are the things that you are likely to meet. So you try to do the business in their name, the payment will come and they will never show up. Or when the payment comes, and that's the time that they are telling you they're very intelligent people. So these people, you meet them. If you don't meet them, then it means you're very lucky, and it means that you are skilled. But if you're not skilled, they will come around you. They will come around you all the time. And some of them you may have known for a very long time, but they are con men, and you study them. And for me, the characteristics are what I said. You know, they talk sweet, they overplay their influence, and they overhype themselves, and they let you feel like you are nothing. You know, you don't know anything, and some of them may not even have the education that you have. You know, and they sit down to plan. I had this guy that I was dealing with, and this man will test you. You call back, he tell you, I'm in a meeting, and he was in his bedroom, and you were naive. You know, where he came out with big projects, about 10 of them at a time, some piping projects, some road projects, all kind of things. You know, and we were naive, and his whole agenda was for him to get money from us. So what I'm saying is that you meet a lot of this kind of people. And so when you start, I think that you should be patient and go through the right channels. You know, go through the right channels. If they ask for bribe and those things, as much as we can stay out of them. You know, because they will always get you into trouble. And sometimes, having done the project, having executed the project, even those along the chain of payment can also be the same kind of people. You know, they have all kind of contractors along. Those who can get you the project, those who help you to secure the the funds, so to say, those who can help you to get paid when the economy was very bad. You had all kind of people, and all of them were looking for a cut. And some of them will fight you to death, you know, if you try to stand on your ground. They will threaten you. Some of them will even try to, you know, take you out. They are there. Their main focus is the money. So if you are trying to do anything in this economy, you should be conscious of that, especially in the big cities. In Accra, for instance, there are many. And if you move around the ministries, they are there. One of the reasons that we decided to stay away from a lot of government dealings is that, because most of these guys are in there. You know, they can push you, they will talk a project with you. And the whole agenda is the money. When the project comes, you never even see them. It's a nasty situation. It has to be cleaned up. But until then, if you want to start a business, think through. Stay out of these guys. They are many, and they can really get you into a lot of trouble, financial troubles, a lot of them. And they are there, and they don't care. You're not the first one that they are cheating, and you will not be the last one they will cheat. You know, and there was a time somebody introduced me to this guy. He came there, he showed me a card. He was a director of something procurement, and that time I was a bit wiser, you know. So I asked him, which kind of department is this? He said, the director of some procurement, something like that. Then I googled on my phone. I said that there's nothing like that. Then I called my friend. He said that, is there anything like department of procurement, something? He said he doesn't know. Then I asked the guy, well, so who are you? What? Oh, he said, no, I'm in charge of some embassy project, and we are looking for contractors like you to give the project to. But you know, you have to give me 3,000, 5,000 for the next hour so that we can secure the project, or it will go. You know, by that time you were wise. So we said, I said, no, you don't look like credible. I don't think that if this embassy is looking for somebody to source their project, it will be you. You know, and then he flipped. And that's one thing about them as well. They are that proud. They are cocky. And so when you try to challenge them, they flip. You know, they get angry. They fight you. And so you, and I'm sure it applies to a lot of other businesses. You know, whatever business that you are doing, there will be this kind of people who show up all the time, who will try to tell you that they know everything, but their only business that they are doing with you is to take the money from you and to shut your dream. So study them. We have had to deal with a lot of them. You know, and am I saying that I've mastered it? Not sure, but I'm not sure they can beat me at that level again. I mean, maybe a higher level they could beat me, but not the ones that I've known at this stage. You know, so study them. They can break. You can be daring, you can be ambitious. When you get into some of these people, their hands, they will destroy you. Especially if you partnered with somebody who was not involved. The person will never trust whatever you are saying. You know, and so and some of these things will come with experience. Some of them, you just look at them and you feel like, no, this is not right. You feel. And don't ever believe that somebody will just call you and say, this is a project, come and take. No. They don't do that. So if you're looking for a project, source it rightly. If it's not coming, it's better to stay without the project than going to take a wrong one, because that wrong one will put you in a lot of problems. And some of them could be government workers. They are masterful. They talk sweet, but they know you. And when they read, they have dealt with so many people. So when they meet you, they know what to say for you to bring the money. They know what to push, where to press. Because you are agreeing, they know it. They know you are agreeing. They know. When they see the ones that they can't cheat, they also know. And so look at it. This is the climate of projects, of sourcing projects, of working with government institutions, especially of people calling from nowhere to tell you that they will give you a project. And sometimes some of them will even use you as a bait too, so to say. They are contractors themselves, but because they are looking for people who can cost for them, they'll just call you and say that I have this project, bring me the tender. You can do 10,000 tender for them, and they will never get you one. These are all crooks. They just use you. So you have to wise up to maybe place a price on you preparing any document for them. But this is it. So people who come from well-regulated environment, when they come here, they will assume that everybody is professional and everybody will do the right thing. I don't think so. I will place the percentage maybe around 30 or even less. So when you are going out, you go with that clarity of mind and of thinking that a lot of people are in this thing trying to take advantage of you, and some of them will engage you solely because they want what they call cut. So it depends on your philosophy, but from the little that I've had, I don't think that you should just waste your time on a lot of these guys who are just trying to take advantage of you, trying to build a business, a construction company or an engineering company or any other company that you're trying to build, because they can make a ton of money around you and you'll be left with nothing. They will be building their houses, buying cars, and they are just using you as a conduit. But I'm sure that if you are maybe like me, you are not looking at to be used as a conduit for people to make money. You want to build a business. And so you are looking for credible people to link with, And as I said, don't believe the title they come with. Test them. A lot of them can talk so big, but they are doing all kind of things that they will sacrifice you for. And if anybody will lie for money, they can take you out for the same money. If anybody's focus is just the money, they will do anything to frustrate you. Some of them could be so much close, and when the money showed up, they change. So the con men, the liars, the people who are there to cheat you, don't assume that they are not there. They are everywhere, on supply projects, on all kind of projects, and they come. Some of them will come and tell you they are from the president's office, they are from national security, they have all kind of titles. I decided to stay out because it gets you frustrated, and you should get it to a stage that you have values. Don't just say, don't just do anything, because with time you see that you become better, and then you don't just be in haste, like some of us. People will be humane enough, will be honest. People will be kind enough to treat you fairly. Don't assume that. They have to prove themselves to you. That is my little experience, and it doesn't matter who they come to say they are. Test them, let them prove themselves, because they can get you into big trouble because you want to build something, and that can delay you for a long time. If you're not wise enough to stay out quickly, they will take you out. So that's my understanding. So my name is Kwabena. I was trying to talk about how to deal with people who come on your way to cheat, to trick you, to get your money, to get you into trouble, or to use you as a conduit to feed themselves the agenda. whether you are sourcing a project or whether you are chasing your payment. All kind of people, they come in between, and it's like a culture now when it comes to projects, where anybody at all talks to you and they are asking for their cut. It's so dangerous, and I think that's one of the reasons why we are not able to build strong construction companies, because anybody who comes in to help you, so to say, is coming in with an agenda, and they call it business, but it's not business. It's dishonesty, it's cheating, it's lying, and some of them you just have to develop the skill to identify them, and identify them well, because they are there in numbers. They are there in numbers, and some of them have the forces to even protect them. Some of them have the political force to protect them if they cheat you. So if you don't want yourself into some of these troubles, then am I saying that every government work is like that? No, but it depends on the level that you take it and who you're dealing with. That if you take it from the primary level that everybody is, it's likely that it will not be a clean project for you, and that can put you into a lot of stress, and you may not be able to develop the skill that you need to build a business, because the business has to be built at least on some level of credibility, on some level of honesty on your part and on the part of others. But once you set the business on all these cutting corners, you are always in trouble. You are always in trouble. Yes, troubles will come, but not the ones that you can avoid. Some of them you can easily avoid if you look at them well, and they are in numbers, so look for them. They are there all the time. Have you heard a story where somebody who was in charge of a church project was trying to put a percentage on the project? That's how it is. So it's many, it's everywhere, and contractors are the ones who get to suffer all the time. And so I think that if you want to be in construction company, stay out of this. The problems are so many that this one should not be part of it. If the project was sourced wrongly, it's likely that you'll be in trouble. Even the ones that you source genuinely, there's a lot of troubles that you have to solve. And so this guy is taking this percentage, this guy is taking this percentage. How much are you left with? And then you feel angry, you feel agitated, you feel miserable. Okay, you feel like why did I get myself into this? So that is what I have had to say. So stay clean. The world is not coming to an end. Just have a plan to solve your project, and have a philosophy in dealing with most of these people. If you're able to identify them, you'll be way ahead. You can stay out of a lot of pain. Just little understanding, you can stay out of a lot of pain. Projects, kind of businesses, if you look, those are the ones who have all the health issues. Why? Because the stress is that high, and the terrain is not that organized. So you have to organize it from your position. You have to stay and get yourself out of those troubles. If you're an engineer and you want to start a construction company, get learn from the ones who are trying to do it rightly. If whatever your background is, if you want to get into some of these businesses, ask the right questions. Because the way people get their projects and get paid is strange. It's strange. So I think that the next 20 years will be different. It will call for different kind of business people. And so you better start rightly, and not in haste to cut every deal to get ahead. It doesn't help, because you can't sacrifice the future of the country just for the fact that you want it. That's why we get screwed. And so the phone calls, they will call you all the time for projects. Just scrutinize them, get to know the people who are trying to get to the project, and get to understand the very good projects. Really, those people are more interested in their project, and they are more interested in the cash flow on the project. Most of the time, you see that they are more interested in when can we pay you, when is the payment coming, which level of the work are we getting to. Those if you get to meet anybody who's trying to give you a project, those are the things that they talk about. They look for your expertise. They look at can you perform, and then they also talk about how ready they are to pay you at every stage that you agree. Those kind of people that you look for, are there many? They are not many, but it's better you get some of those people, and that's how you build business. That's how you build construction company, so to say, projects, where you don't have to worry so much about the cash flow. You don't want to worry so much about the frustration. So because every project has a problem, but some of the problems are just induced because they want to cheat you. But there are some genuine problems that is a normal project manager you and give it to their sister or their uncle. If you dare to try a construction company in our terrain, get to understand some of these things. We if you had somebody to tell us, it would have been very fantastic. Some people will just preempt you a little and tell you, listen, this is not good. But these are the nitty-gritties. Always go for the kind that has good rate, that has a good paymaster, the people who are really interested in getting the project done, not just money. Those who are only following the money, if you have the heart to build a business, they'll put you in trouble. They'll put you into trouble all the time. And the con men, they come across board. Yeah. They are almost everywhere, and some of them could be your friends. It's not just the strangers who are con. Some of them are only driven by the money, and the only reason they are calling you to get to a project is because they are looking for cut. And don't fall for those if you are trying to build a business, because then you stage yourself to be dishonest all your life, to be lying, and you see, the thing about this is that they even go against your philosophy. And if they go against your personal philosophy, you lose your peace, you lose your joy, especially if you say that you go to church, you're a Christian. You don't want to get yourself into a lot of these things. Some people say it's business. I don't think that is business. I think that if that is the only business that you can do, then probably stay out. Get into areas that you can be as much truthful as possible, and that way you can clear your head and have, and once you get into areas that are more credible, the con men tend to stay away a bit. So that is my take on how to deal with some of these guys and how to identify them. They come, some of them wear dress, their shoe nice, they polish, they speak very good English. Don't think that they are illiterate. A lot of them speak very good English, and they have gone to the college that you said you went, but they are disturbed. That's what I say. They are disturbed mentally, because if you are that intelligent to con people like that, you can still start something and do something. But that's their profession. Am I the one to change them? I'm not sure, but I should be able to identify them and have the boldness. Having identified them, you should also have the boldness to say no to them and stay out and cut the connections that they get with you. Sometimes you fall in, you become prey to them because maybe you just ignore it. And some of them, they come unknowingly. They see you nice person, cool person. They think, this guy, we can use him, and they will use you proper. And some of them have used us break time, but then we got wiser in the early days. So we got wiser quick, and then we move out of those troubles. So that's what I would say. So if you want to start anything here, look for that. Look for that. They can put you in bad situation, and which can affect your relationship, your business, your finances, everything, your health, if you're in constant problem like that. So which problem was not needed in the first place. So understand the situation and get yourself out. It's better to build something with more credibility than the ones that you yourself, your greed is driving you. So they tell you never even hear because you want the money, and then you are in trouble. Okay, so that is what I've had to share with you. Thank you very much. Hopefully we learned something from it and build a proper construction or engineering business, and source the right projects, and try to get to the right people who understand how projects are run, how construction projects are run, and how construction businesses are built, so that the problems are reduced, and that is what I have to say. And most every problem that we got into, it was somewhere around this kind of problems, whether it's the cash flow or wrong source projects, they get you into trouble almost all the time. So that is what I have had to say. Maybe the government will be able to organize it and maybe have a data for, you know, some of these things. But until then, protect yourself and study people well before you commit anything to them. You know, some of them are just there to cheat and screw you. And so that is what I have to say. Thank you very much, and good night.